Good evening, everyone. I'm Sushila Shekhawat from BITS Pilani, and as a part of the conference, I'm going to present on the dissemination of the health news through during the global pandemic through the different forms of media, and especially I'm going to focus on the Indian perspective of it. Let me present my slides. As you can see here, the title is Dissemination of Health News Through Media During the Global Pandemic. And the contents of my presentation would be, here I would be discussing first the introduction. Then I will be talking about the methodology that I have adopted for this study, which includes the study design, data collection, and then data analysis, and then the different forms of media such as print media, broadcasting media, social media, and then finally the conclusions. To start with, as we all know, the significance of the medium, okay, the different forms of media, as we can know that the reach of mass media is immense across the world, and even in India, the scenario is same. And this is one of the mediums which is affordable, highly accessible, and it's one of the most influential and effective form of communication as well. And it has been very instrumental in making the people aware about the crisis, I mean, that during this pandemic, and it has played a significant role. Now, the aim of the study here is to understand how communication has been playing a pivotal role in transmission of health news to the public through the different forms of media. And this is the methodology I've already talked about, the study design, the data collection, and finally the data analysis. Now, the study design includes both the qualitative as well as the quantitative method of data collection, and which includes the analysis of the content that have been gathered through different methods and sources of data collection. Now, in this entire study, there are certain specific terms that have also been very significant, though these are the terms which maybe in the first reading itself, it seems to you that these are certain general terms, but certainly these terminologies has acquired a different connotation during the during the pandemic period because of the way they have been used. For example, risk communication, forms of media, communication, health literacy, the propaganda, the stereotypes, the spread, and intervention. Now here, for this particular study, finding information sources has also been a very important aspect. The approach has been very deductive, and the data has been analyzed accordingly. Now, while analyzing, examining various elements of the sources, there has been the style also has played a very particular important role, such as words, sentences, paragraphs, and overall structure, and then relating them to the attributes, themes, and patterns relevant to health communication. Now, apart from the qualitative data, there is another aspect, which is the quantitative data, wherein I have collected information through certain surveys, and the surveys were conducted on a sample of some students, and through questionnaires and from college students basically. Then there was some kind of a secondary research wherein the existing statistical and numerical data have been examined, and there have been a kind of systemic observation of the entire data. Now, data collection, as we can see, has been, the data has been collected through archival research, where the manuscripts have been accessed, documents or records from libraries and the internet have been consulted so that to extract information related to understand the current scenario as well as the past scenarios of whatever practices that have been related to health communication via various forms of media and the resulting impact of the same in various situations. And the questionnaire, if we talk about, then it includes questions such as, for example, there's one question listed over here that on a scale of 1 to 10, what was the impact of COVID-19 health-related communication by media on your daily hygiene practices, in order to understand as to what exactly they feel about the impact of mass media in communicating health-related information during the COVID-19 pandemic scenario. The secondary data includes several sources, for example, both print media, websites, blogs, newspapers, and then the different genres like the opinion pieces and marketing copies to gain an in-depth understanding of perceptions related to the process and importance of health news transmission. Now, in the analysis of data, the existing quantitative data, for example, whatever data has been collected through the demographics, large samples, and descriptive statistics, and the plots from the sources such as government agencies and medical research organizations have been analyzed, I'm sorry. And then textual analysis has been done, wherein there are specific pieces of primary findings. They are also analyzed and they are, in a way, interpreted with an objective standpoint, and then they have been compared to other findings within the framework of the same research. Thematic analysis has also been done, wherein the data collected from already existing health podcasts, medical journals, and interviews with medical professionals is analyzed to understand the general themes revolving around health news and how it is communicated via various forms of media. Then the data has been categorized and then it is summarized, where the COVID-19 related awareness among the general people around the globe has been summarized, that how it has been done. Print media, we all know that the significance and the widespread coverage of print media and the role it has played during the COVID-19 pandemic scenario. And now, related to this, as we can see here, that the significance of it, that longer time has now been spent reading the credible news and the timing has increased. For example, as we can see here, that even Rasmus Thies Nielsen, director of Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism, has to say that the problems of disinformation in a society like India might be more sophisticated and more challenging than they are in the West. So certainly, print media is very powerful and the reading time has also increased. But then we also need to differentiate between what is you can say communicated to us, what is information, disinformation, and misinformation. So that is also, in a way, plays a significant role that we as the consumers need to be very careful while consuming the information. For example, when we come to the audience part, here, for example, related to this particular question, when this particular question was asked in the questionnaire, that according to you, which type of media has been more successful in minimizing fake news, then I think the print media, that was the major response of the people. And then the turn was for the internet and then the broadcasting. So newspapers have also been paying special attention to COVID related news items since March 2020. A major reduction in number of pages related to sports and entertainment news has been observed to accommodate more information related to pandemic. And this is not just on the print media, as we can see, even on the internet, even on the social media, and also on the broadcasting media, the focus on the pandemic related health news has increased. Now, this was the other question which was asked, that which kind of newspapers have been effective in spreading awareness regarding COVID-19? And certainly, it says that can't say, that is the major response. And then the national newspapers, that is the major bulk, okay, of that has been agreed upon. And both the kind, that has also been one of the responses. So based on the observation, the Hindu has been including at least 2 articles related to the current spread of coronavirus in the states, as well as regional news pages, and has also maintained a daily diary of key happenings of the day, encapsulating them on the website as well. For example, they have a detailed section called the Corona Letter. And overall, the major topics of reporting by the leading national newspapers were what are the measures that are being taken up by the government, and then what are certain, you can say, support and salute programs that are being organized to facilitate the COVID-19 warriors, especially the medical professionals, and then special trains for migrants. So these were the things. Now, these are certain perspectives given by the daily newspapers, even local newspapers as well. Now, coming to the broadcasting media, again, I would like to highlight here one thing, that this is also one of the prominent media in our country, wherein you can say that it came into existence in 1930 and has witnessed an exponential growth afterwards. Now, if we talk about both the mediums, which are the broadcasting, the television and radio, out of which the most popular being the television. And as we can see that right now, I think radio is not that popular if we compare it with television. So there are at least 5 basic steps of television in India: broadcast or over-the-air television, encrypted, and free-to-air, direct-to-home cable television, okay, and OTT. So these are the different networks. With a reach of 167 million households, television automatically becomes a very important source of information during COVID-19. And this is one of the reports which highlight the effect of this, the viewership. For example, this is also the page which particularly highlights the kind of tribute that has been paid to the doctors, and especially the significance of the broadcasting media over here related to the respect that was being given to the people and the kind of information that was relayed through this medium related to the health advisory. For example, the Information Broadcasting Ministry also urged all TV channels to give adequate publicity to the travel advisory issued by the Health Ministry. Then DD News has also been very instrumental in communicating the informative content on disseminating the latest advisories from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And then ABP News was also one of the things, one of the very important channels which played a significant role. And as you can see here, when this particular question was asked, that which is the mainstream news channels that have been very active in spreading health awareness, so as you can see here, 40% weightage has been given to NDTV, and then DDTV, and then the rest of the television channels. How often do you trust health-related news broadcasted by the leading TV channels? Because it cannot be denied that we have other mediums as well. For example, social media has a very important role. Print media is also there. It's not just the broadcasting media. So here, as we can see here, that 62.5% they are saying sometimes, and some people are saying never as well, whereas a very small percentage is agreeing to the yes part. So do you watch special health related programs telecasted by various news channels? So here also, as you can see, that once or twice a week, so the percentage is less. So among the first 21-day lockdown, many Indian radio brands came together to bring about COVID-19 stories. And as you can see that even the Prime Minister is highly vocal and during the to communicate to the public, to make a connect with Man Ki Baat. So that is also, even radio jockeys have also been playing the role of local influencers. As for example, Red FM in Bengaluru was in constant touch with the authorities, the police commissioner of the city, regularly taking stock and providing updates. So this is also one of the medium that was fairly used. Now, another important media is the social media. So social media platforms, as we all know, even now, the second wave, we can see that the importance is increasing manifold. So here, we can say that if we talk about social media in India, there are not many positive and negative influence among a large number of people within a very short span of time, and hence often tend to become the source of fake news as well. So that also is the kind of care that needs to be taken by the people. And social media usage in India is dominated by the youth and urban people and males. And according to United Nations Development Program, in India, 2/3 of Facebook users in India are from the age group of 15 to 29 years, which constitutes approximately 27% of India's population. Now, these were certain questions related to the social media, for example, that since lockdown, which type of media have you been using most frequently to get COVID-19 updates? And as you can see here, the internet plays a significant role here. Now, again, which internet platform do you trust the most? Here also you can say that the news apps or the services like the newspaper vendor apps and in shorts, these were the answers. Now, a study performed by Public Health Dentist of Bengaluru, India, revealed that out of 572 study participants, 150 reported the use of internet for oral health related information. And even the digital health literacy survey among European citizens, 59% of Europeans use the internet to check for health information. So it means that all these things communicate and validate the fact that yes, this particular social medium has again a very powerful medium in communicating the information related to COVID-19 pandemic. Even the government of India has even created an account called India Fight Corona, which is exclusively used by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to post COVID-19 statistics. It means that social media has also been used by the government just because of the influence that it has. Okay, another YouTube channel, for example, run by the Press Information Bureau of India, keeps the citizens informed about any official decisions and announcements regarding coronavirus, like extension of lockdown, any restrictions, any changes in the policy, timing, and etc. As we can see here from this graph as well. And even on Instagram, there was a page created, Humans of COVID-19, which posts personal accounts by doctors treating COVID patients and survivors of the virus. And the Twitter account of Journal of Clinical Rheumatology has recorded a 72% rise in tweet impressions and 95.4% increase in profile visits over the past month. So an influential study by the Vaccine Confidence Project found more than 240 million digital and social media messages globally on COVID-19 by mid-March. It means all this information communicates the fact that health-related information has been communicated very well by all the different forms of media. And as we can see, and we can conclude that all the latest reports, for example, this particular recent report by the fast-checking website Boom, out of 178 fast checks the website conducted since the onset of COVID-19 in the country, as much as 35% of them were fake videos, 29% images, and a similar percentage were doctor messages on range of issues such as fake diagnosis and treatment, falsified quotes by celebrities with their photos, false notifications, and lockdown guidelines, among others. These are also certain issues that needs to be taken into consideration while following the information. But this fact also can't be denied that most of the major information that we are getting, media plays a significant role in doing that. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much. This, as we can see here in the conclusion section, I have already talked about it, and certainly the communication of health news via mass media has played a major role in disseminating the critical information. So this fact can never be denied. So digital media like social networks also provide a platform for some people to spread fake news also. So these things also needs to be taken into consideration. Now these are some references. Thank you.